Good, happy Tuesday morning, May 12, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get this Tuesday off to a good start. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy some Good Morning, New Hampshire. Let's begin. We have a little bit of everything for you in this program. But first, we're going to begin with your news. We're going to start with your local news first. First up, DHHS rate of COVID-19 cases, deaths at New Hampshire long-term care facilities is lower than others in region. There have been 3,160 diagnoses of COVID-19 in the state. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Beltate's building supply has been classified an essential business, and we take this responsibility very seriously. Now you have the option to place your orders via phone or email to orders@beltates.com for free delivery or curbside pickup. Stay safe because you matter to us.
Adam, state health officials say they and care facilities need to continue to do everything possible to stop the virus at the door. Today, 2 new outbreaks were announced, a total of 28 people between Hillsborough County Nursing Home and Community Resources for Justice, which is a transitional housing unit. The state wanted to look at how it's doing overall to fight COVID-19 in long-term care facilities, so they pulled data from different sources and found that the percentage of facilities with active COVID cases is 21% in New Hampshire. Comparatively, Massachusetts is 49%, Maine 43%, and Rhode Island is 21%. The state also says New Hampshire ranks lower than nearby states for coronavirus deaths in facilities with 0.7%.
It's not whether New Hampshire is the worst or the best when it comes to the number and the degree of long-term care death. It's that every death is unacceptable. Every death represents a grieving family and a devastated family.
And the commissioner says facilities are taking multiple precautions, including not accepting any new admissions without a negative COVID test first. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. And here's a look at that COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. There are 3,160 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,385,813 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 133 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 318 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 81,791 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you current cases of COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Manchester, 415. And this map here shows you total cases in New Hampshire. Manchester, 714. Now let's take a look at this chart here of new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalization. And in the red, deaths. This chart here shows you current cases. In the purple, current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalizations. And this chart here shows you total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases in the orange, total hospitalizations in the red, deaths, and in the blue, recovered. This chart here shows you by age group. This chart here shows you by female and male. And this chart here shows you risk information. This chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases. And this chart here shows you percent of New Hampshire population. And again, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing, how it spreads, and prevention tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, new safety measures at Shanghai Disneyland as parks reopen aimed at coronavirus. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Turn now to Shanghai Disneyland. It is starting to reopen this morning, just the first phase, a very careful first phase, with visitors required to wear masks, submit to temperature screenings, and social distance. Will Reeve joins us with more on what this could mean for parks here in the U.S. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, George. Careful is the operative word here. So many of those safety measures in place, visitors capped at 1/3 capacity. But as Disney looks ahead to what might be in store for its other parks around the world, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Overnight, the doors opening in Shanghai Disneyland, marking the first of Disney's major parks to resume operations. Tickets for the reopening selling out in minutes, but it won't be business as usual. The reopening set to be a cautious and measured phased event, prioritizing safety.
We have cast members throughout the park that are continuously wiping down and making sure that everything is disinfected and sanitized.
Along with increased cleaning, the park limiting total attendance to 30% capacity. Temperature screenings and face coverings required for all guests entering the park, and social distancing enforced at all times.
Whether it's at the main entrance, the attractions, the restaurants, shops, everywhere you go, just give people space.
While Disney, the parent company of ABC News, is still keeping its U.S., Hong Kong, Tokyo, and Paris parks closed, the company announcing a phased reopening of Florida's retail, dining, and entertainment center Disney Springs beginning May 20th. The Walt Disney Company saying in a press release, quote, "A limited number of shopping and dining experiences that are owned by third-party operating participants will begin to open during this initial phase. The rest of Walt Disney World Resort will remain closed, including theme parks and resort hotels." As for whether Shanghai Disneyland will provide a blueprint for the reopening of Disney parks worldwide,
we communicate all the time with our other parks around the world, share operational best practices. So hopefully we can inspire them. We can share some of those best practices here, and they'll adapt based on what they need to do there to satisfy their guests and their communities.
there is no concrete timeline for Disney's other parks to reopen to the public around the world, but expect similar safety measures and precautions to those implemented at Shanghai Disneyland. George?
Cannot be too safe. Okay, well, thanks. Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Coronavirus updates for the rest of the world. Trump and Pence to maintain distance from each other, officials say. The decision was made after 2 aides at the White House tested positive. Today's biggest developments. U.S. death toll at 80,684 deaths. Trump and Pence to maintain distance from each other. Wuhan to test entire population after cluster of cases emerged. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into business news. In your business news, U.S. stock futures point to opening dip as investors monitor efforts to reopen the economy. U.S. stock features were a little change in early morning trade on Tuesday as investors evaluated the latest attempts to reopen the economy. And as a reminder, be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for all the latest of your COVID-19 information. And as well, every afternoon we give you coronavirus, what you need to know information as well. So be sure to join us for that every afternoon, weekdays. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. Let's take a look at your radar right now. And here's a look at that radar right now. As you can see on radar, it's going to be a clear day in New Hampshire today. And now let's talk about the weather. Your weather right now is sunny, 39 degrees. Your weather for today, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 54 degrees, winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire Life segment. In today's New Hampshire Life segment, Nottingham dad dresses as Disney princess to make daughter smile as mom is tested for COVID-19. Test came back negative. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Beltate's building supply has been classified an essential business, and we take this responsibility very seriously. Now you have the option to place your orders via phone or email to orders@beltates.com for free delivery or curbside pickup. Stay safe because you matter to us.
This is proof that Eric Figueroa would do just about anything for his little girl.
She kind of has me wrapped around her finger.
3-year-old Emberlyn loves the movie Frozen, almost as much as she loves playing dress-up with Dad. So imagine her surprise when he found his own Anna dress to go with hers.
What went through your head when you saw your daughter's face when she saw you in that costume?
Well, the first thing I thought is, I can't believe I'm wearing this dress.
Humor is key when times are tough.
I was actually at home because my wife was getting tested for COVID.
The test was negative, but there's something else. After skull reconstructive surgery last year, Emberlyn's brother, Branson, may need another surgery.
It's life. It's just one thing after another, but we try to make it as fun as we can.
That's why these moments mean so much.
I was really excited to see her face and just to see her light up.
A dad showing his daughter everything will be okay, even if it means dressing up like a Disney princess.
You like me wearing the dress?
Yeah. Very cute. Emberlyn now has plans for the whole family to dress up as Frozen characters, and I'm sure she'll get her way.
Very cute story there. And we're going to switch gears now. Here are some tips to protect your mental health. May is Mental Health Month. Let's take a listen to this video from Dan Harris. Does these 5 things daily to protect his mental health.
May is, as you know, Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I want to talk about 5 tips for boosting your own mental health. Let me just say one thing. If you're struggling right now, there is nothing wrong with you. If you're feeling anxious because of this situation, that only means you're paying attention. One is sleep. adults should be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. So I would strongly recommend that you do your best to go to bed as early as possible. Obviously, staying up, watching a little Disney Plus or ABC network television or news is not a bad thing to do, but you don't want to stay up too late, and see if you can get 7 or 8 hours of sleep. I think that is an incredibly useful operating principle. Another tip is to exercise, or just to get some movement in your daily life. There's an enormous amount of evidence that shows that getting your heart rate up can really help with things like depression and anxiety. Third tip is meditation. This has, for way too long, meditation has had a reputation of being something exotic or for hippies. I have spent much of my professional life over the last decade or so trying to change this PR problem. I wrote a book about it called 10% Happier, and there is also an enormous amount of science to suggest that short doses of daily meditation can really help with anxiety, depression. It can lower your blood pressure, boost your immune system, and many other benefits according to the science. Fourth tip is to get some nature. This often can be paired with the second tip, which is to do some movement. You can do both of these at the same time. Exposure to nature is really important, and it's been, again, a lot of science has shown that exposure to nature is directly correlated to a sense of well-being. And the fifth tip I'm saving for last because it's the most important. We are social creatures. We are wired for social connection. That is really difficult in a time of social distancing, but getting that social connection is the most important thing you can do, in my opinion, and this is based on having looked at a lot of the science, for your own mental health. If you're on your own right now, make it a point to make phone calls, and even better, video calls to people you care about, and talk to them. Talk to them about what's going on in your life, and talk to them about what's going on in theirs. One way to get yourself out of a rut is to reach out and help somebody else. So doing acts of service, acts of kindness for other people, while this can sound a little, I don't know, cliche, there's an enormous amount of evidence that can jar you out of your own rut, often we get into sort of self-centered ruts, but helping other people can really be beneficial.
Okay, there you go. Good tips there. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In your entertainment news today, Lori Loughlin's daughter, Bella and Olivia Jade, honor their mom in Mother's Day tributes. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Overall, I am happy and proud of my girls, and I think that they are nice people and they are kind people, and I think that's the greatest compliment I can give them. Lori Loughlin's daughters are honoring their mom on Mother's Day. Olivia Jade shared throwback pictures on Instagram, writing, "You are my best friend and have held my hand every day for 20 years, making it look like motherhood is an easy job."
I want them to be happy. I'm happy to guide them and get them up and running.
Lori's oldest daughter, Bella, added in her post, "The strength mothers have is unparalleled. I think they might be the closest thing we have to superheroes." The girls continue to gush over how proud they are of their mom.
Lori, what have you said to your daughters?
This comes days after a huge setback in court for Lori and her husband, Massimo Giannulli. On Friday, a judge rejected the actress's request to have the charges against her dropped in the college admission scandal. A source tells ET that the ruling made Lori nervous.
I have a lot of mixed emotions.
The actress is convinced she did nothing wrong and wasn't expecting the judge to side against her. But the 55-year-old is determined to prove her innocence, and she won't back down.
I want to be supportive of everything they want to do, but I do want them to have somewhat of a normal, finish out high school, college experience. Maybe because I didn't have that, I really want that for them.
Lori and Massimo are accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their daughters admitted to the University of Southern California as recruits for the crew team, though neither of them had ever participated in the sport. The couple has pleaded not guilty and claimed their payments were donations to the school.
The actress and her husband are facing trial along with 6 other parents in October. As for Olivia and Bella, a source tells ET that the girls are following their parents' lead.
I'm proud of them. I'm proud of who they're becoming. I think that they're nice young women.
The mom of 2 works very hard to hide her fear from her daughters, and the source adds Lori's friends are very concerned that they might be misleading them to believe it's an easy win. They worry the girls will be unprepared for the verdict because they trust their parents and it's in no way cut and dry. In the meantime, the source shared that the family are still social distancing together and have tried to separate themselves from anything related to the scandal. Olivia Jade has also been staying with her boyfriend Jackson Guthrie and is happier than ever.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at the celebrity birthdays for today. Let's see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day. And thank you for joining us for this Tuesday edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you back here next time for another edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone.